God damn, I might be biased, but I love that intro. Probably because it took me forever to make it. But either way, that is a fucking killer intro. What's good, YouTube? Let's see who's jumping on here. As you guys can see, the room behind me is completely different, but that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about today. So, what's going down, Charlie Brown? Well, you know, a little bit of everything. What's good, Mr. J? Speaking of that, get my dab on here. What's good, Matt? Man, we literally just got done with this room in the nick of time. Yeah, so I'll move out of the way here for a second. Luda, the Savannah Monitor enclosure right here, has came much closer to us. The Freedom Breeder ARS rack and hatchling racks are all on the opposite side of Luda here. Our incubators now moved directly ahead of you. Then we've got the 4-foots. The 8s are now a stack of 4. The animal plastics enclosures, not to blind you guys, but I will rotate this over a little bit. They are, see if hopefully you guys see that there. They are on top of Luda's enclosure now. So, that's kind of part of the title that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, is just advancing as a keeper and, staying focused on your projects. So I've actually been making a few cutbacks because, it's not that I necessarily made the mistake of getting animals I didn't want. I definitely, wanted the animals. But I've, realized that I really need to stay focused on certain projects, and I need to be able to provide for all those projects. So I have made the decision to cut down on a few animals and just kind of, make sure I'm keeping focused, going with my projects and everything. So the Mangrove Monitor found a lovely new local home, so that's kind of cool. She's staying local. Her old enclosure is now right there and empty, and there's a few people who've been messaging me about it, so that's probably going to be gone tomorrow. And then going to be cutting down on my amphibians and my geckos. Not a green tree, it was a mangrove monitor, but nope, she went to a local guy. He had actually reached out to me about her, and, was looking for a mangrove, so kind of just worked out. He really wanted a mangrove. It worked out for me to, cut down a little bit. Yeah, Matt, are you talking about that one? Because, yes, it is. What up, Stefan? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And hell yeah, smash that like button if you guys don't mind. If you're not already, hit subscribe. Weekly awesome reptile lives. I'll also be bringing you guys edited videos from time to time as need be. I just don't want to push content out there that's not something you guys are interested in, just showing off the same animals, But if we have clutches drop or egg cuttings or, pairings or certain topics that I'd like to do series on, including the history of Burmese segments that we've been doing, those will be continuing soon as I can get some good examples of the wayline caramels as well as the double visuals and permission to use the pictures. I do have good pictures, but without permission, I can't edit them and upload them into a video for you guys. Yeah, Matt, getting rid of that one. That was my mangroves enclosure, but the guy was doing a custom build himself, so he just took her. And pairings. Ooh, pairings. So berms, I'm only doing one pairing this year, although we'll see how that works out. They haven't really been locking up yet. But I have my green double het albino granite going to a granite possible het albino green lab. So we'll see how that works out. Don't know why it's hiding Shane's comment here. Hold on, guys. Who else? Let me make some more people admins or moderators in here real quick, because Matt, you should be blue now. Shane, you should already be blue. That doesn't make any sense. Josh is blue. Mr. J needs to be blue. I'm just going to make all of you blue. Thank you guys for jumping on. And then as far as ball pythons go, oh man, you're going to have to let me walk over here because there's quite a few we got going on. Ball pythons. We have got some het puzzle stuff, and we'll leave it at that until eggs hatch. We've got some highway clutches coming, so I got the pastel gravel going to a yellow belly, a pastel yellow belly, and also to a GHI Mojave yellow belly as a backup, but we're also pairing that girl to a leopard blade clown probable plus. I have that same leopard blade clown probable plus going to a coral glow pastel female as well. And then we've got banana pied project going, and another double het clown pied clutch, so 100% double het combos there. And then we have got Enchi Fire Leopard Blade Het Clown going to a leopard, and also, or excuse me, not a leopard, a possible yellow belly / gravel. And then we've got the same male going to a pastel YB. And then, who else is locking so far? Then I also have, as a backup, I have a Coral Glow Pastel Sugar Spot Nose, who's also carrying the probable plus gene, going to a het pie girl, just to make some pos hets. And then, but that's just a backup in case visual banana pies don't go through. Then I think that's about it as far as what I'm pairing now. There'll be a couple more pairings that are going to start later in the season, but I just want to put a little more weight on the girls first. So, oh, was I not? Could you guys hear all that?
I asked. It seems like everybody could hear you.
Okay. I got Shane off camera because, once we get into this, I'll probably have him read off comments to me. I do need to reconnect a few thermostats, and I don't want to leave them sitting here for too long. So, yeah, let me know, man. Check us out on Instagram. I tend to post there most frequently, honestly. So I'll definitely, I'll be taking pictures when the clutches drop and keeping everybody updated. Thank you. This is my happy place. It's changed a lot, but it's getting there. Still, where these 8s are along this whole wall, which continues much past our view here and keeps going way further than I can turn my computer right now. That should fit another, it's about 16 foot from the end of those 8s to the wall behind the computer here, behind the camera here. So, fuck Shane for a minute because he's being a dick. So we're going to add another 2 stacks of 8-foot enclosures there. That should be 8 more 8-foot enclosures. And then right where my workstation is, right here, this is, you guys are sitting on my laptop on my desk, which has my printer, and it's where I, do all my photos and editing and everything for you guys. But this is going to actually be another stack of 8s. So we'll end up with 16 8-footers in the room. And then I'm just going to need to expand or something because, I'm kind of full all the way up. I don't really want to go much taller. As you guys can see, that stack of 8s is right about eye level when I'm there. So Let me get caught up on this. Thank you, Mr. J. I'm excited for those pairings too. A few of them I'm super fucking stoked for, honestly. Um, double hets. I'd rather go the double het route than make my own double hets, I should say, from the quality animals I picked out, than just go buy a clown pied and then go from there. Um, but I'm just kind of weird like that. I know some guys just want to drop the cash right away. Some projects I'm all for it, but sometimes I just want to make them. Thanks, Chris. And yes, to answer the asshole that is Shane sitting in the corner over here, he was right. The thermostat was set at 85.9 to control the 90-degree hotspot on the floor. Don't ask me how it works out like that. It just does with the temp gun. Yep, I will be selling anything I'm not holding back, at least. I'll be holding back a lot of females, so I'm not sure how many females will be available, honestly. I'm sure I'm going to let a few go, but honestly, I hold back a lot of the girls just because, why not? So I can unplug this for just a moment so you guys can see how I have this laid out. So I'll take you guys on a little walk here. We've got, of course, the enclosure that's going away will be more 8-foots along this wall here. Stack of 8s here. 4s, incubator, and then this is what you guys can't see from when we are sitting down over there. So redid the Savannah monitors enclosure as well. Look at that lazy dude just chilling. So redid his enclosure, added some more madrone there. And then we've got over here my insectivore rack, as we call it. It's got my amphibians, my geckos, pixie frog, corn snake down there, and the young rhino iguana, Yoshi. So that's where I've gotten with the room so far. It's always evolving, it's always changing, but we will get there eventually. What's good, Justin? Mary's in the house. What's good? Chris, a few people have hit me up about it, but nobody's pulled the trigger yet. So as of now, it's still available. I was trying to find what happened. Oh, Shane talking more shit. That's what's going on. He was right, though. He was right. Herp stat was set at that. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious. What's your guys's, thoughts on, like, say, and this was a topic that got brought up on another live stream the other day that I was a part of, is selling adult females, right? So this was actually with Justin Kabolka and Ozzy, and Ozzy kind of shares, I think more of a similar mindset as I do, whereas he says, if you have multi-gene females growing up in the racks and you're not trying to just expand, then, occasionally letting go of breeder females. Whereas Justin says mathematically it makes 0 sense to get rid of females. I see both sides of it, but for different reasons, and obviously there's some animals that are just sentimental, like, some of the first, ball pythons and berms and stuff that we got, I'm never getting rid of, whether they're breeding or not. I don't really care. But what's your guys' opinions on that subject? I'm curious. I'm always wanting to, hear others' opinions and open-minded about things. So, yeah, Justin, you need that cage? 4x2x6. The only thing, honestly, I would switch is the plexi doors, but that's just because I'm a stickler and I like glass everything. I just didn't get a chance to switch it to glass, being as she went to a new home. It's also got dual Arcadia high output UVB fixtures in the top and dual ceramic fixtures with heat cages, both rated for 660 watts. So, I mean, it's decked out, really, for any sort of arboreal species. Hell yeah, I'll glass all day. It's the one and only cage in here that isn't glass right now. Oh, that and the rhino, but I don't want that to be glass because if you guys know about rhino iguanas, they fucking sneeze calcium all damn day, and cleaning calcium off expensive glass is not my idea of fun. I would rather just replace plexiglass when he moves into a bigger enclosure. Okay, so Mr. J, you're kind of like share my mindset. It's kind of a case by case basis, so to speak. Um, like a few of you guys have know, I've let go of a few breeder females. Like I had quite a few normal females from when I first started, and just raising them up. I don't want to mass produce snakes like that. So I thought if a new breeder could use them, I'd put them up. They're great breeders, nothing wrong with them. I'm not talking about selling your females who aren't laying and are infertile, and you've been breeding them for 5 years and they haven't produced a clutch, and so you're making it somebody else's problem. But good breeder females that will lay perfectly fine clutches. Um, but I don't know. I let a few of them go. There's one normal female who will never go anywhere. She's still chilling in that freedom breeder rack over there. Man, I cannot talk. I'm fucking exhausted, guys. Chris says, I think it makes sense with ball pythons, but with retics and berms, not so much. I'm with you on that. I don't know if, really, unless I know the people, or it really depends. I mean, breeder berms kind of don't really last, or they just aren't a thing. I guess I see a lot more retics up for grabs than I ever see adult berms. Okay, okay, I feel it, Mary. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a shitload of adult females myself either. I did let a couple go. I have one adult female listed right now. Um, but otherwise, there's not much I really want to get rid of or would be willing to let, go. I just thought it was kind of an interesting topic, and for me, more so, my kind of letting stuff go to focus on other projects is more so letting some of the other species I keep, and I still love them. I love them to death. I got them for a reason, not just on a whim. I'm not that guy. But slowly as I find proper homes for them, like I was saying, the geckos are gonna go. The amphibians are gonna go. Just to kind of keep me focused on the direction I mean to take all of this. And I still plan on opening a reptile zoo as my end goal, so I'll definitely have those species back in the future. Way more, you're trying to grow up. Same here. Man, there's some girls in the rack right now that I'm honestly so excited to see laying on eggs in a couple years, but it's going to be another season or two before I see them on eggs, so, ooh, I'm excited though. I'm excited. Stefan, what do you mean? I'd be happy to help. Oh yeah, if you have breeder females that are just being a problem, you gotta sell them as a pet. I see a lot of the guys, they buy adult females and then they breed it for 2 years and they're like, I don't know why the fuck it's not breeding. I bought it off this guy, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, he sold you his problem. If you're buying adult females, you gotta trust who you're buying them from. I wouldn't buy just an adult female from Joe Schmo because he had it. Yeah, true that, Chris. It's a lot of the big, big snakes I see for sale are retics with an attitude problem. I occasionally see like, big male berms listed. But even then they go pretty quick. Even in females, I've seen them listed a few times and they're gone. You see that post for an hour and it's taken down. Um, but I don't know. I wouldn't let go of any of my berms, honestly. Like, unless they're a baby and I'm already trying to get rid of them. Once they're, an adult and they're here, I've done it once, won't do it ever again. Um, I love them. I don't know. I committed to them. They're big. I'm not going to get rid of them. Percentage of genes. So you're saying, Shane, yeah. Are you
Yeah,
talking about as far as like hets go, like 66% pos hets, 50% pos hets, etc.?
yeah, I think that's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, you got to know the seller and do your research. I mean, honestly, I got gypped a few times buying from random guys that, females ended up males. Luckily, a few times at least males ended up females, so that worked out for me, but you know, I learned real quick for sure though. Uh, be picky on who I'm buying from. That and I kind of really quickly after I discovered all the morphs and I really got into okay, I'm gonna breed, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna invest in all this. I was really picky on like not just buying a snake, but if I bought a snake, is it a good example of those genes? So even if it's say just a pastel yellow belly, is it a good pastel yellow belly? Or is it that pastel where you're like, it's pastel, I guess it's a little more yellow? Or is it that pastel where you're like, damn, does that have something else in it? Is that like what's in there? It looks yellow, stuff like that. I was kind of really picky, and I've just built on that and being really picky. Um, and I still have a few of my original snakes, but other than that, I've been really kind of selective and who and what I get. But with that said, I did get gypped a few times. Also got a berm that I really, really, really wanted, and unfortunately, I had to put her down at the beginning of this year because she had right-sided heart failure due to it had to have been either a genetic issue or it was an infection of some sort that wasn't able to be tested for or cured. And at the point that it was at, after months of treatment and multiple tests, it led to heart failure. So that's the worst it ended for me, but that's enough for me to just call it. That was a 6-month battle. I think it was over 6 months battling with
Yeah,
Aurora.
yeah, and then
So
yeah, the fucking day that happened, like still went to fucking work. A lot of shit that
oh,
happens on there
yes.
that you still go
Sorry
to
if
work.
there's a delay, guys. I'm also just ranting, and when I rant, I'm trying to look at you or the camera, uh, not stare off to the side at the comments here. Oh, Josh, that sucks. That was the one from the Portland Expo, right? The one that I saw in person. You dream of having a retic or a berm? I mean, they're a lot of fun, man. A lot of work. A lot of work. But they're a lot of fun. If you know what you're getting into, you can provide the proper caging, food, everything for them, and as well as be able to handle them, then they're amazing animals. Just be prepared. What was this question? Which gets bigger, retic or berm? Retics. I mean, mainland retics, I should say. Obviously, there's dwarves and super dwarf retics, and then you also have the subspecies progressi, or progressi, however you want to pronounce it, of Python bivitatus, which is a dwarf subspecies, technically a different subspecies altogether. But either way, for the most part, if you're talking about the mainland giants, retics will get much longer. they are a much more slender snake. But really, at their length, they're still going to outweigh most, decent sized berms. But they're, berms can also beat them in weight. I'd say it's pretty even, but retics are definitely longer for the most part, at least true mainlands. Um, you don't really see berms get to be giants much anymore because most people either power feed them to death or they run into respiratory issues and they're not taking care of them right, or blah 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 blah. They fucked up and the animals don't make it past 10, 15 years old half the time. So it's hard to find, berms that are over 15 years old. So a lot of true giants aren't out there still. I mean, there's some, but I mean, if Matt's still in the comments, I'm sure he could chime in on that too. Matt has retics and berms. He's got some beautiful snakes too. So, thank you, Mary. I appreciate you jumping in. Have a good night. We parent his ass with my big old normal. Also, been single gene pastel. Hey, man, gotta prove him out. It'd be interesting to see what's in there. Maybe it's a OD that's just not showing itself too much, but you can get a nice high expression baby out of that. So, yeah, all the shows up here have been canceled for a while, and we don't see them. I think the Portland show, I want to say, was rescheduled for March now. So, I mean, at least until then, that's the soonest show we have up here. I feel that, Matt. I feel like, and this is just my opinion on the subject, but I feel like it's a good mix of either people power feed the fucking shit out of them to the point where it's just they die from just that and the overload on their organs, or I feed on the heavier side, not necessarily power feeding, but I don't know, from what I see a lot of people do, I feed on the slightly heavier side. But I feel like exercise is important too. Most people just leave them locked in there 24/7 and don't actually pull them out and let them use those muscles. You feed them a shitload. If they can, after they're done digesting, they can work those muscles and build up the muscle too, not just the fat content. Um, but I feel that too because I always see. I mean, 80% honestly of what I see is either I see a bunch of underfed snakes or I see a bunch of power fed to death snakes. It's like it's hard to find that medium. I don't know if you feel like that, but I see that. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I see one or the other. It's either people have these small snakes because they're trying to feed it slow and they want to grow it nice and slow, but they're actually just stunting it because they're not feeding it what it fucking needs, or they're just feeding it way too damn much. You know, Jay. Hey, I don't give a fuck. This is to be real with you guys and give you my honest opinion and just kind of bullshit with you guys, so. I see his retics and I want to puke sometimes because I'm just like, I feel horrible for the fucking animal. Yeah, Josh, I hope the shows come back, man. Really, it's not even about vending for me. I've just, once I started going to the shows, I really liked connecting with all the local people and, talking and bullshitting about animals, seeing stuff that you don't get to see all the time. There's obviously those certain few vendors who don't really post shit, so you don't really see them other than the shows. That would be awesome, Matt. Honestly, we were just talking about me and the significant other. We're just talking about when we move and expand on this, having a room that's about this size, but with like a hardwood style floor, but have some like fake trees and branches and just kind of make it like a fake jungle gym that's really easy to clean out. We could pressure wash it basically into a drain into the floor. But it'd be an area that's all heated, has hot spots and everything that we could just bring the big snakes out, for a few hours a day and just rotate through all the big snakes and even the big, monitors and lizards and stuff, and just kind of like let them exercise in that area, and that way, rotate through them at least a couple times a week. They all get to play for a few hours in a huge ass room and they can do whatever the hell they want in it. You don't have to sit there and watch them 24/7, and then they can go back and be in their enclosures. But at least a few times a week, they'd get all that exercise. And, I don't know. I thought it was a cool ass idea. Maybe just have it with like some glass windows so you can just watch them explore and check shit out. I wish we could keep them outdoors here part of the year, but unfortunately, we got like maybe 2 months. That would be kind of warm enough for them, except at night. So Washington's not a good place for that, but yeah, that was a big berm. And honestly, at first I looked at it and I was like, that's a fat ass berm. It maybe was a little big, but that was actually a berm with some age to it. So it was nice seeing, you can always tell when you see those nice big heads. That's a good point, Shane. That's a good point. It would be good. But I mainly mean for like my at home collection is what I was thinking. Because when we do the zoo, obviously everything's going to be. When I say I want to open a reptile zoo, guys, I'm not talking about that little, tattoo shop or hair salon you see converted into a reptile zoo. The reason I'm taking a long time to get to that goal is because I want it to be huge, like Walmart, Home Depot, huge. I want it to be massive enclosures where everything is in, as much room as I can possibly give them. Um, and I just want it to be fully decked out, and I want to have a number of species, as well as I'd like to have an educational area and sort of rooms where I can have classrooms come in. We can teach people about different species. On top of that, it'd be nice to have some food in there. Another place for maybe private parties, another place where it's a retail area where local people can come get all their feeders. And on top of that, they can get real reptile equipment, thermostats, PVC enclosures, everything, heat panels, heat tape, probes. I mean, just everything that real keepers need that you're not going to find at a pet store. You're not traveling all around the city to get what you need. Oh, I need paper at Home Depot. Oh, I need a temperature gun at Harbor Freight or Home Depot or whatever. I just want one central area where everybody can come and they can get anything they need reptile related. They can ask questions. They can talk to experienced people. And then I want it to be big where I have people going around and actually educating people on each species, in each area. So we can have all different kinds of monitors, all different kinds of pythons, and then even have those pythons separated into here's a bunch of berms. This is what makes them different. There, here's what they look like naturally. Here's what captive breeding has progressed, etc. Well, obviously they all started wild caught, but you get my point. Combos and stuff like that. And then same thing, retics, ball pythons, angolans, scrubs, Moroccans, bolins. I mean, I can go on and on. Timors, just all sorts of pythons, all sorts of colubrids. I want to go lizards, anything from small geckos up to Asian water monitors, black throats, stuff like that. Different species of iguana, explaining the difference, where they come from in the world, what makes them different, how they've developed differently over the years, stuff like that. I want to go full out. Anybody who knows me personally knows I try not to half-ass anything. If I do something, I do it to my fullest extent. Jesus Christ, I need more caffeine. I'm sorry, guys. I've been going since like 7 o'clock this morning, and going hard, rearranging all this, moving all the big snakes, taking taking care of the other rooms. Like I'm exhausted, so pardon me. But if I do something, I'm gonna go full tilt. I do it to my fullest extent, and I put all my energy and time into it because I just don't like to half-ass stuff. Gonna have my birthday at D's Reptile Zoo and have a huge retic cake. Chris, I will let you know when we open. It's going to be a few years, but that is my end goal. So a lot of people know that we do the reptiles and stuff, but we've also been silently kind of working in the background on a huge rodent production, as well as dubia colonies. Soon we'll be starting waxworms, superworms. Shane breeds our quail. We've been working on getting rabbits up and going. Once we have a bigger facility, I'll start doing mice and ASFs again, and then probably some guinea pigs as well for those picky in-betweeners. So I'm trying to do basically all sorts of feeders, and have that covered locally. I just don't post it out there because as of yet, I'm not at the production point where I want to start selling. I have a few guys who I supply, but other than that, all of the extras are going towards expanding our colonies, adding more racks, adding more colonies, and just keep going, keep going, keep going. I made the mistake before when we bred feeders of offering it to the public too soon, and then, all of a sudden, oh, I'm sold out. And now the guys who were depending on me for, 2-3 months, now I don't have their feeders, and now they're scrambling to find feeders. I don't like that. If somebody's going to come pick up feeders from me, I want them to know every single week, I have your 100 rats, I got your 300 rats, I got your 400 rats, I got your 50 rats, I got your 10 rats, whatever, but I don't want it to be where, there's a week, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have them. No, I've seen a few of Emily's videos. I haven't actually watched her channel in a minute. I should probably get caught up on that. I don't really know what's happening with her zoo. But I have seen her basic layout and what she was planning on doing. And, it's very similar. I do want to do something like that. I, of course, want to run things and do things just a bit differently. And as far as probably species, I want to go pretty extensive. And with the retail side of things, I also want to support local breeders. So, not only will I have my animals available if somebody wants to come, pick them up in person, but say Josh here. Josh is local to me. He breeds some beautiful leopard geckos. I would love it if Josh and me could work something out when I open the zoo, and I'll, have Josh's geckos on display. So Josh has his animals, maybe for sale, or some of my other local friends who breed. My buddy Shane works with some awesome colubrids. Both my buddy Shane from Evergreen State Reptiles and my buddy Shane sitting over here. Um, but I'd like to be able to do that. So yeah, basically being self-sustainable. Already we've been producing, for the most part, besides rabbits, I've produced all my own feeders for quite a while. There was a period of time I ordered a bit of frozen just to kind of cut down on, feeding off as many of my own personal, and that way I could expand quicker. But other than that, we've been providing our own rats for quite some time. Yeah, a couple years now. Self-sustainable is a huge plus, though. See, Josh, I'm glad to know you're down. You'll know when everything starts to happen. It's going to be a while, but I just want to. I'd rather stay focused, save, and do everything right, and make sure all the enclosures are fully set. Make sure everything's good. I don't know. I'm just like that. How are we gonna have opossums on display? I'm surprised Shane didn't ask that question. You know what? We might have a Brazilian short-tailed possum on display.
I'll just come in with
or Shane will be walking around with Waffles, his Brazilian short-tailed possum, on his shoulder. Don't let it loose. I'm not liable if something eats it.
We'll
That's
just
all
have
I'm saying.
a dog kennel by the front
Mr.
door,
J.
like a full-grown possum.
No full-grown possums. At least go bar check and get a fucking sloth or something. Fuck.
Sloth would be cool.
Possums? No. You got everybody on the possum kick, didn't you?
I guess.
No possums. If we're having any sort of other animals, it's going to be probably something like maybe a big ocelot or something. I don't know. Some cool cats or owls or something of that nature. No possums. I don't know. No possums. Maybe hedgehogs in the retail area. All right, I'm getting distracted. Shane, we are not working that out. Sorry, no possums. I draw the line at possums. I draw the line at possums, guys. That's the final answer. Armadillo? Okay, I could deal with an armadillo.
That'd be kind
Armadillo
of cool.
would be pretty badass, all right? No possum. Armadillo. Mr. J saved your ass on that one. I'll deal with an armadillo.
Until you got a group of kids coming through, like, thinking it's a soccer ball.
Get a 3-toe sloth. The 2-toe's freaky looking. Dude, did you see Barchek's video of that fucking sloth crawling around, though? That looked like some horror movie shit. The way it didn't even look like its front, with the big frickin' claws. It didn't look like it was moving at all. It was just back feet scooting on the floor. Dwarf hippo. Yes, if dwarf hippos were real, I would have one of them. I would build a moat around the reptile zoo full of dwarf hippos. Yeah. Rob the reptile zoo. Find out. I'm joking. Don't take me seriously, or at least too seriously. Yeah, dude, that shit was creepy. But yeah, definitely, big things in the works. Really, I'm one of those guys, I've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I'd rather just make my moves in silence and let my work show for itself instead of just talking about it. Oh, dude, that shit was weird. I had to rewatch it like 3 times. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? They're pygmy hippos? Mr. J, is this like for real? So I saw a thing about dwarf hippos on Extinct or Alive, but they were extinct. They couldn't prove, they found bones that were more recent than listed that when they were extinct, but they didn't prove that they were still alive. But if there is, Shane, can you look into this for me? Pygmy hippos. If there's such thing as a pygmy fucking hippo.
Yeah.
I was trying to convince the girlfriend to let me get a pair of capybaras so I can breed the capybaras and then I'd have food for my anaconda. Right? She wouldn't go for it. But maybe cute little dwarf hippo. That'd be badass.
Yeah,
after the zoo is open.
There's a pygmy hippo that lives in Liberia and is severely endangered. But yeah.
Severely endangered. Well, maybe if we can do, some sort of captive breeding and release program.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But highly doubt it from where they're from. But damn! That's cool.
They're tiny.
Oh my god. Okay. They need to not be endangered so I can have one. Or 2.
That's kind of awesome.
Maybe 3. We'll just get a 1.2, let them breed, and then I'll send them all the babies, and then they can release them in the wild, and everything is good.
Yeah. I guess there's 2 at the Richmond Zoo.
350 and 605 pounds. Still 10. Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, some dogs are getting up 200 plus pounds. So it's like 3 big dogs.
Yeah.
I could deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, guys. I really like hippos. I think they're badass animals. They're freaking cool.
Their teeth.
I mean, they're dangerous as hell and terrifying, but they're freaking cool animals.
Have you seen the videos of
So guys, jump off in the chat if you guys have questions. I am going to run over here real quick. I still want to answer your guys' questions. So since you guys can hear me over there, I'm going to have Shane read off questions from the chat. I'm going to get these other thermostats plugged back in so they can start heating back up, and I can make sure all my hotspots are correct before I pass out. Oh, Chris, if I could. Fuck yeah, man. But just let me know. Bullshit. Tell me what you guys want to know.
So, Mr. J just said, when grown, you can put saddles on them and let kids ride around.
Nah, I don't know if my insurance would be able to cover that.
You could probably tame them. You know, a couple generations in.
But not if they're highly endangered. This is a very iffy subject, although I'm very curious. So let's make sure. Need to throw that back on dimming. Always use dimming. Always, always, always.
Oh, yeah. You don't
Never
want to
use pulse.
Yeah.
Unless you have to, but since I've used dimming thermostats, I will never switch back.
Yeah.
Such a more accurate, consistent temperature.
Also
Okay,
saves so much power.
Okay, what's up, sweetie? Let's grab some keys here and a small snake hook before I get bit in the face. Alright. Anybody else have any other questions?
Mr. J said, just thought it would be cool to have a pygmy hippo.
No, that would be badass. We were actually talking about it the other night. Okay. Right at 88, 89. Right under the panel, we're good.
Right at 89. Just so everyone knows, it's at 89.
Yes.
The temperature in those is 89.
Alright. This girl who likes to strike first and ask questions later. Although I love this girl. This was the first holdback Burmese I ever produced. She's right on point. So anytime I unplug and plug them back in, even like the Hertz stats, the Vivarium electronics, they're going to remember your temperature, but I'm just paranoid and I always double check stuff. Alright, on point. Andy needs to get cleaned.
Yeah.
Guess I know what I'm doing after the live stream.
The one thing we didn't get to.
Oh, not you, big girl. You chill out. What's up, mama? Okay, that was the one that's disabled, but it's heating up. So we'll give that one a little bit.
Are any comments like pulling up on yours that aren't popping up on mine?
I'm not sure. You can go ahead and check it out. Sorry, guys. I just
doesn't
want to
look
make
like
sure all these hot spots are on point.
We have a couple.
Shoot. I'm all ears.
Are the cage stacks on rolling stands?
Yes.
Yes.
Anything that's on a green frame are frames that Shane and I built. I love the colors black and green, so I'm trying to kind of make everything uniform and on casters. So they're 2x4 frames, painted my favorite color. The casters, I want to say, are, what did we put on those ones? 4-inch? Didn't we use 4 inches on these guys?
I think 4s.
7s on him.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's 4 sets of casters on each one of those stacks. And then also the hatchling racks over there. Luda, though, has 7-inch casters, same sort of frame, although he's got a lot more support on there and 7-inch more heavy-duty casters because that fucking cage weighs more than a hippo.
Yeah. Mr. J asks if you have any plans for gators or anything like that.
when we open the zoo, if the state of Washington will allow me to get my permits for crocodilian species, I would absolutely love that. Washington's really picky with that stuff, but if that whack ass reptile zoo up north, sorry if you guys are on here, I'm really upset. You should hit me up, and I would love to help give you some advice on your setup, and I mean that with all due respect, just because I know a lot of people watch this that don't jump on the chat or they rewatch it. I was very upset when I went there. They have alligators that they've had for quite a while, probably before the laws came into effect and they were grandfathered in, but they still keep current permits, and how they keep them bugs the fucking shit out of me. Had to get that out. Sorry, guys. But if Washington will give me the permits, I absolutely would love to have those species. I would love some Gulliver's caimans, the dwarf caimans. There's, oh my god, I'm spacing the name of it right now. Orinoco crocodiles. And then, of course, your salties, your freshwaters. Those would be really nice. Honestly, I'm not extremely versed with crocodilian species. I know a little bit about some of the dwarf caimans and stuff like that, and the smaller caiman species. And then I want to say it's the Orinoco crocodile that has that beautiful snout, super elongated. Correct me if I'm wrong, and you guys know in the comments. But those are just species that have jumped out. But, of course, anything I jump into, I'll, of course, thoroughly do my research and make sure I'm prepared. But I would love to have some caimans and some crocodiles. Oh my god, that would be awesome. I also really want to work on getting some hots, and I'm completely against venomoid. I don't believe in, doing venomoid procedures on venomous animals whatsoever, but there's some hots that I would really love to display and showcase. So if Washington will give me the permits for that. We just redid the room. Do you know where my animal plastics keys ended up?
Which one? Those are the longer ones.
Yes, my AP keys.
I haven't seen those. I've only.
Well, that's not good, guys. I kind of got to get into my cages.
Iron Dog is asking to.
You keep reading them off. I gotta find these keys so I can check the fours.
Iron Dog Reptiles is asking to see the female normal berm that you have up on Morph Market.
Okay, she is. Hold on. Tap trained from a young age. So. There is. I'll go grab my car keys. I have an extra set, and Amanda might have accidentally put them in her pocket.
Okay.
So this is one of the female berms we have on Morph Market. There's only 2 of these girls left available. They are 100% het green, 66% possible het albino, and 50% pos het granite. She is being a little hissy right now, but beautiful girl. Hopefully that can show up for you. Really nice and bright. Beautiful patterning. Definitely a really nice het green influence going on. As well as, honestly, with how bright she is, I'd be surprised if she didn't prove out het albino, but that's obviously just a pos het. So that is how she is listed. This is one of the girls. I can see the other girl isn't in shed. She was just in shed the other day. So,
we have a comment asking to see a headstand. Well, a handstand, not a headstand.
A handstand?
Yeah,
I'm not doing a handstand. Sorry, guys.
And Mr. J commented saying the Orinoco is the long. It has the long.
The Orinoco, right?
Yeah,
so Orinoco. I was right. Okay. Yeah. Then there's this beautiful girl as well. Honestly, I will say I waited to list these 2 for a little while because they were the most beautiful out of the clutch. But that's because you guys got to ask me. You guys looking for something, ask me. Because I don't list everything at once. I still have stuff sitting on the shelf, so to speak. But this is another one of the females, same genetics. Pairing was a green, uh, green double het albino granite paired to my big het albino girl. I really can't talk today for some fucking reason. And then, just because I'm right here, there's also, this is the last male available from that clutch. This boy's definitely never missed a meal. This is their brother, who's a visual albino, 100% het green, pos het granite. This boy honestly just came out of the egg huge. Like, you remember this. This was that giant egg, I remember. It was an albino male, and this boy was him. Just huge from the get-go. And honestly, the most beautiful albino in the clutch. I don't know how I still have him because I sold a bunch of other albino males. I would have been sure that somebody would have picked him and that girl 6.3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I do not know how I ended up with these two being the last ones. And I did wait to list them, but they were still listed when I had others available. And honestly, they're far better looking. Maybe that's just because I see them all and I can get them, and you know, I can say that I hatched them all.
Yeah.
You know, not everything comes out the same, even from the same clutch. Quality definitely shines through on certain animals.
Oh yeah.
I'm missing a bunch of stuff back here, aren't I?
Iron Dog said the beautiful girls. The first one had a cool head stamp. And then the link to the crocodile was posted.
Oh, cool.
And
I will check that out after the live stream, Mr. J. I always love seeing those guys. Thank you, Chris. Yep, weather's getting cold, so if you guys do want stuff, we do have, I think, around 20 animals currently listed. We're sitting good on that one. Let me double check. Grab my keys. I'll be right back, guys. Alright. Now I can just quickly go through these guys.
Oh, you found a key?
Yeah. Exactly what I thought. Sweetie. Right on point. Right on point. Right on point. Sorry to have my back to you guys. I am almost done here. It's all good.
Comments that I'm not seeing. No, looks the same.
So, just making sure these are all on point.
Gotta triple check those temps just to make sure everybody's happy.
So you guys, I'm one of those people who not only do I have everything plugged into appropriate circuits where it's not going to overload, but I also have there's a few last minute ones I need to do, but almost every single one of the cages is also on a surge protector. I also split my big racks, and I don't just use one probe on them. So when it comes to the ARS and the Freedom Breeder rack and the hatchling rack, I try to have a probe on the top X amount of levels and then the bottom X amount of levels. So I do need to switch over the one other hatchling rack and do a split on the heat tape. I have my hatchling racks ran in serial wiring, so I don't like the weaved effect that people do in their racks. I don't like weaving heat tape. I feel like there's a lot of the newer heat tapes, they have a backing on one side, so it's really meant for the heat to be pushing with the black bars up that doesn't have the backing on that side of the heat tape. Hopefully you guys are following me here. So I have mine ran in serial, and I want them split halfway. So just like my ARS, I have the top 5 levels on one probe, bottom 5 levels on another probe. Otherwise, I see a lot of guys, they run one probe right into the middle, 5 down or 6 down, whatever, your middle is on your rack. And what I notice is they get major temperature swings. Their bottom's at 87, their top's at 90, just from naturally the air rising. So I notice that the ones I have on top, for instance, with the ARS and the Freedom Breeder, those heat panels click on much lower and much less frequently than the other panels. Penelope's back there pushing like crazy right now, so I should probably go pull that girl out for a second.
Um,
Um,
Mr. J is the only new comment asking if you have a Fire Inchi Mojave combo.
I don't have all 3 of those genes in one snake. I do have Enchi Fire Leopard Blade Probable Plus Het Clown male, and then we do have a GHI Mojave Yellow Belly female. So if you didn't mean necessarily those all in one, I don't have. My Enchi Fire doesn't have Mojave. Really, actually, I think the only Mojave we have in the collection is my GHI. Well, Amanda's GHI Moho YB, because yeah. Let me pull this ivory granite girl out for a minute. She's been pushing lately. She needs to move up soon.
Yeah, I gotta get those cages built, which that'll be a fun time.
You're fine. Come here. She's not even too big for a 4. She's just really active and likes to move around.
Yeah.
I mean, she's getting there for sure. She's at the top end of a 4, but she's still pretty good. But she did give herself a little owie on the top of her head from pushing. So, been treating it with some betadine. She's been pretty good other than just now. Probably because I'm sitting in here talking a bunch and moving around. Love this girl, though. She's growing like a champ. Let's see. About 6.
Yeah, a little over.
Probably a little under 6. Well, probably a little over, yeah, because I'm just about 6 foot, so. Yep. Beautiful girl, though. Love, love, love my berms, as you guys know.
Mr. J just said,
Thanks.
Beautiful snake.
Thank you, Mr. J. Yeah, I wish she wouldn't have rubbed her head, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Treating her, she'll be all right.
Did we find where
needs to
betadine was?
Yeah, I moved it into the supply rack in the other room.
Okay.
We're gonna be chill for a little bit. You also pushed your water all the way over, sweetheart.
They do that. They like to play.
Yep. It's probably gonna take them some getting used to now that we moved the whole room around too. They're gonna be looking out more and checking shit out.
I've never seen you before. I can now see you.
Nah. The hell is this one, Dad? Right. Just a second there, guys. Sorry. All right. Why are we not popping on there? Come on, Freedom Breeder. What's up with that, Jesse? Thermostat's taking forever to turn on. Let's move that cable there. Alright, we have 3 going. I'm going to need to run over for the hatchlings. Oh, who's beeping now? That is that Freedom Breeder. Yep. Yeah. The buttons on this Freedom Breeder thermostat always throw me off. Everything's a symbol, so there's no words to tell you. All right, I'm back for a minute, guys. Sorry, I just want to double check everything. Like I said, moving stuff around, plugging stuff back in, switching circuits and stuff. I want to make sure everything's 100% A-OK and holding temps all right. Was good, Todd? That's another part of it. I see, a lot of people do or don't do, I should say, that they should do is double checking their temps a lot, and not just double checking your temps, but pulling out your cages, cleaning behind them, pulling out your snake racks, all the way and, deep cleaning the back of them or enclosures, whatever. I don't see that anywhere near as often as I should. And I feel like that's important for, not only your snake's health, but your health, fire safety. We have heat sources in all these enclosures and people aren't dusting behind them. Seems like a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. Good, Todd, man. Just got done moving the room around before the live stream. We've just been sitting here bullshitting, and that's about it, man. Yeah. Getting stuff rehooked up. I still need to go hook up the hatchling rack. They can wait a minute, though. Our ambient temperature in this room is more than adequate for them to be sitting at for a couple hours. And nobody's digesting right now, so we're good. Yeah, Shane knows I'm really OCD. You got to take time and deep clean the hell out of the room. Pull stuff out, move it. I see Karma moving around up there in the corner of my eyes. All of them are going to be active now that we're in here and hanging out.
Yeah. At the start of the stream, that Rechick was...
Yeah, Todd?
Trying to get out, but you can see the fucking marks.
Yeah. That's just the condensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see how she was fucking...
moving around. Yeah. She does that anytime we're in here. But yeah, I do love how those cages, and this was my original plan, but I love now having that fourth one on top where it originally was supposed to go, because it perfectly evens out this corner here. And I don't know, there's just something about that seamless look to me that's just really appealing. These guys are still at eye level. What's up, sweetheart? You guys don't need to push. You want to come hang out? All right. Let's pull this big granite girl out for a minute, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's, oh, you're good. I can grab her, yeah.
All right. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. Actually, I might make you exercise with her.
I have no problem with that.
What's up, sweetie? Yep, you're fine. What's up, hon? What's up? Yeah, I'm a shorty. I'm on my tiptoes now, but that's all right. What's up, sweetheart? Hi. Want to go ahead and grab this hook?
Yep.
Come here. So for those of you that don't know already, this is my girl Karma. Nice busy pattern granite, possible het albino green lab. Hell yeah, Todd, man. And thank you, it's coming along. Still a lot to do. Like I was saying earlier, I need to add at least 8 more 8s and then really 12 more 8s altogether. But 8 very soon.
Yeah.
Try to do the one shoulder around here as much as possible. But yeah, need to add a bunch more 8s. So we're just rearranged stuff, making room. Got rid of one of my monitors. She went to a nice local home, so that'll clear up That cage you see off to the side there will be gone soon. Don't be knocking over everything. And hey, big snakes, they're a little bit of a battle. You can see she's wrapped all the way around my ankle, and she's curved all the way back there. So here, I'm gonna let you.
She's got some.
Let her get some exercise for a little bit and just stretch around.
She's got some nice length to her.
Yeah. Definitely putting on some good size for sure. Oh yeah. I mean, she's got to be pushing 13-ish, 12. She's definitely over the 12 mark.
Yeah.
So she's got to be pushing about 13 foot. But yeah, that's kind of the thing with the big snakes. I let them out, and we just kind of let them chill quite a lot. I feel like they need that exercise. They need to move around. When it's warm outside, we try to get them outside, get some exercise, and, you know. Oh, she's over 10 foot.
Oh, yeah.
She's over 10. I mean, to give you a little bit of a comparison, so that's an 8. That's next to a 4. If I pull her back, she's at the end of those 8s right there. She's a little coiled. She'd be... Oh man, now she's super coiled.
Probably like 11.
She's already past there.
Yeah.
She's got that big coil. So she's right at 12 probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh no, it's probably hard to see, but she's already, I mean, she's a little bit past the 8s up there, but she's well past that 4. So
she's just passing 4 feet.
Oh yeah, so she's easily pushing 12 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to put some numbers on the floor for easy measure.
Measuring big snakes is never easy. Never easy. Yeah, she's a sweetheart though. And I feel like exercise is really important to big snakes. I see way too many people who just keep them as, you know, I mean, I don't know what a good way to put it is, couch potato. They just leave them in their enclosures. They never pull them out. Speaking of that, let me close this enclosure before the thermostat starts beeping at us that it is not at temp.
Oh, yeah. Because that's going to happen.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi. Dog Reptiles is
You
back.
also need to pay attention when you have them out because they can go back into that predatory, you know, feeding response. Our animals know us a lot, so really it's just kind of, we do the tap. Let them know, obviously watch their heads, you know, make sure they're good. But once you do that, they know, you know, they're out. But either that or tap them with a snake hook. But don't just walk right by their head after you've had them out for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster. You're back, Chris. And Mr. J, her weight. I do not have an exact current weight. She's somewhere around 50 pounds. She's probably just over 50 now. Although, I don't know, she did just take a massive shit the other day.
That always affects.
That is a good 5-pound difference right there. Yeah, I really do think that's really important to snakes in general, you know. Even our ball pythons. I pull out ball pythons all the time. All the time. And just let them wander around for a little bit. You know, they might be very reclusive. This girl is seriously right at my feet, guys. Literally, let's see if I can get her to pop up here. You're all right, sweetheart.
Yeah,
this
the
girl
balls get a lot of time to hang out because when we're cleaning, we like to put them back in their same.
Yep, same tub.
Yeah.
So they just get to hang out anytime we're cleaning, and then even randomly, just come in here, just hold them.
Yeah.
You know, let them wander about. But this girl just came across the room and was seriously just checking me out at my feet.
Just wants to hang out.
Man, I swear, dude, they got personality.
Oh, yeah.
I wish that girl would stop pushing.
Yeah.
Messing up her nose. Sometimes it just takes a quiet room, shutting off the lights, or just moving them, letting them out. Oh shit, Chris, can't have that. That's the one thing, man. I wish I could have a smoke, but you know, I'll hit my little dab pen here every once in a while because I have a door right off camera here that I can blow it right out of. Um, but I just, I don't know. I wouldn't smoke a cigarette in here. I'm just weird like that, though. I know people do it. I know I've seen you smoke, Chris, and other people and stuff. Um, I've seen other guys smoke joints and shit in their room with snake. I don't know, man. Just like everything else around here, I'm just paranoid. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So that girl's just chilling. But it goes down to even like, for instance, right up here, we have fire extinguishers and med kits. Um, I'm just kind of one of those, I don't know, always be prepared. Only thing I need more of at this point, I think, is ammo and canned goods for a zombie apocalypse. I think then we're good.
Alright.
Maybe more rodent food on backstock because I can't let the zombies get the rodents. And they're going to be coming for those bitches.
Yeah.
After the humans run out.
See, canned goods are easy to come by. Ammo.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. J. Huh?
Is there still like an ammo shortage?
It's not really an ammo shortage. It's just stupid people buying out all the cheap ammo.
Yeah.
It's more what it is. I mean, really, because you look at what's not in the stores. You're having a hard time finding 9mm. You're having a hard time finding 40. You're having a hard time finding 12 gauge. Really, other than that, everything's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your 45s, this girl, I love when they just kind of chill up, just start exploring and wandering about. Oh no, for sure, Chris, and that was in no way a slide at all. So please don't take it that way. I'm just saying just because I don't have that like full range. You know what I mean? There's a garage on the other side of that door, and that leads right out. But it's mainly just little fucking dab pen. It's a little bit of vape. I'm gonna hit the motherfucker right now, but it's just I don't know. I'm weird. Safety measures. Won't really smoke in here. Say that as I take a dab, but you guys know what I'm saying. Other than that, I'm just really picky on, everything that happens as far as like food, cleaning. I don't know. I'm kind of one of those guys with the animals, like it's my way or the highway kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shane will say that's no bullshit. Am I bullshitting when I say it's my way or the highway when it comes to the animals? Like, that's just how it is. I have my weird things. Oh, sweet. Good, Chris. I didn't want you to think that. But that's good. I mean, honestly, if I had a freaking fan with an open window, I probably would. Let's be real. Especially when we're on these streams for, over an hour. Let's be real. That's my one addiction that stayed through the years. Definitely need to smoke. Yeah, I tried the vaping thing, Chris, and maybe it's just me, but it actually hurt my throat like way worse than cigarettes ever have. And I know I need to quit or cut down. I've already cut down significantly over the years. Back when I used to have an issue with other stuff, I was smoking 2 packs plus a day. Now I'm down to less than a pack a day. So, baby steps, I guess. When I can smoke my joints legally going down the street, then I'll be good. Not just have it legally and smoke it at home or my friend's private residence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, Todd. I tried it. I even had a guy who was, he had his own vape shop up north from me, and they were like making their own, 22 milligram, 24 milligram or whatever, but there was a cutoff, and I want to say it was 22 in Washington. It was 22 or 24, but either way, he made it 2 milligrams stronger. It was like, oh, you can't tell anybody I made this, but I was trying to quit, and man, it just didn't do it for me. And I tried the regular 24s. I'm not a big, I don't like the fruity flavors, so I wanted it to taste like tobacco or have that robust flavor. and it just didn't work for me. I tried the gum. I hated that. But yeah, either way, smoking's the one habit that stayed. I quit all the drugs and all the bullshit, and I don't consider taking a dab a drug. That we can debate about that all night long. You'll never change my mind. I would love to help change your mind in a civilized conversation. So if you are against it, hit me up. Maybe I can help change your mind in a good way. Um,
Carmel, that's not
3 milligram or 0 milligram. See, you're way better than me, man. I was way up there, and I was just like smoking it constantly and not getting my nicotine fix. But I did have a really, really bad habit at that time. Like I said, I was smoking 2+ packs a day, sometimes 3. Um, but back when you're younger, you're partying and you're doing a bunch of other stuff you shouldn't be doing. Kind of chain smoke. Back then, I used to drink quite a bit as well, on top of all the other stuff we shouldn't talk about. But I think I might get this girl back in for a bit so we can pay attention before this is over. Ready, sweetheart? Let's get you open here. There you go. There you go, sweetheart. Sometimes you just gotta give them a little push.
Is that Amelia's the second one down, right?
Yeah. Somebody asking?
No. Wait, who's the second one down the forest?
Oh, Penelope.
Penelope. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're putting Karma away, and she's looking at you like, the fuck?
Oh, you got one of those high wattage guys then, huh? Doctor said I need a backiotomy. Dude, I got a video to send you later, Josh. It has to do with exactly that. It was like, shoot, it just came across my memories. I want to say it was 2 years ago. I was crawling in one of the 8-foot cages. Actually, I want to say it was one of the APs over here. I was crawling inside. I was like, oh man, now I know why they like it under the heat panels, but now I need a backiotomy. I don't think I'm going to get out of this thing. But yeah, guys, let me know if you have any more questions. I am going to wrap it up with a few topics here pretty shortly. But let me know if you have any more questions or if there's anything in particular you guys want to see in the collection that I can pull out before we jump on to other things or just before we jump off the stream. Oh, that's nice, Iron Dog. I've always used these Evolve pens. So they had the regular Evolve, then they had the Evolve Plus, and then this is the Evolve Plus XL. This just pops right off. You screw that right off. You can load it with your own concentrate. It's got adjustable airflow and then USB charge there. And then it actually has its own little silicone stash container with its own lid on this model. And then if I can unscrew this quick enough, it's just divided into 2 silicone containers there. So it's just really good. I do a lot of hiking and stuff. So this pen is perfect for me to just, have in my pocket, shut it off, take it up hiking. The coils on it is 4. It's a quad quartz coil, so no cotton or anything like that. I like it. It's just for dabs, but works really nice. But yeah, so just to kind of wrap up, what the original topic I wanted to talk about a little bit with you guys tonight about, advancing as a keeper. Not only do I feel like it's important to kind of stay focused as far as genetics and stuff you're working with, but also just making sure you're like, hold on, Chris, I'll answer that. Sorry. How do I word this properly? Just making sure you're not, going, I hate to say beyond your means, but beyond your means. So I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you can take care of everything, 100% properly. And, that's kind of where I was like looking at everything. And trust me, it's not that I can't take care of it properly. I got me, Amanda, Shane. We all take care of the animals. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna add 12 more 8-foot enclosures. That's gonna be 12 more big snakes in those enclosures. I'd like to expand further than that with the big snakes as well, and I'd like to add at least, really realistically, at least 2 more 70 series racks. The big
That'd be
70
nice.
series, not the 10 tall. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
wide 70 series for another 60 to 100 ball pythons. Um, and that's kind of why I made the decision. You know what? Now, while I'm in a good position, why don't I find these animals good homes, cut down a little bit until we open the zoo, and that way I can focus on these projects that I really, really have been trying to accomplish. But with that said, there's certain animals that won't go anywhere. I have my albino hedgehog over here next to Shane. She's an old girl. I really like that animal. She ain't going nowhere. Luda, no plans of ever breeding that dude. I've had a few people want to do breeding projects. I've considered it, but I'm not personally breeding him. I just really love the dude. He's a cool ass lizard.
Yeah.
Saw somebody. Was it? Oh, that was you, huh?
Yeah. Mr. J said they would like to see him.
Yeah, husbandry's got to be on point, Todd. 100%, man. Mr. J wanted to see Luda.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think he's in his burrow right now. Let's see, he's over there. What's up, bud? He'll come out if he thinks I have food.
Swear, Luda is just like my dog. Food? Food?
Yeah, pretty much. So let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab this laptop. We're charged enough here. So I know that I showed you guys this cage earlier, but what you don't see and where he's actually popping out of is he has a huge burrow under this faux rock we made him. So that whole thing is pretty much his burrow down there. And now that we've got that back. So he hides under there. You gotta kind of be careful with your fingers right there. He'll just jump right out at you. So this is Luda. He's my Savannah. Cool dude. Oh, what? Did I get your face in some dirt? I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. A little squirrely, but he's a cool dude. Let's, put him down so you guys can get a little bit better of a size reference. I mean, he's a good, I want to say, close to 40 inches or so.
He looks so much smaller on the stream.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably the camera, the way the webcam is.
Yeah.
So you'll just have to take my word for it, guys. I mean, you can see up against my arm, he's well past my shoulder to my throat, basically to the middle of my throat, and his head's still past my arm. So I'm actually curious in the tape measures right next to us, so we could see what he actually is. But he's cool. I love this dude. Just one of those, I rescued him and just, really wanted to help give a Savannah monitor, one of the most commonly mistreated animals, a good home, and I kind of just fell in love with the dude. You know what? I'm curious. Let's see.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Hanging off a little bit, 36 inches.
He's hanging off at least about 4 to 5 inches at least.
Okay, so probably like 3.25 feet.
3.25? You mean almost 4?
Well,
You're at
no,
36.
like quarter of a foot, couple inches.
Oh, gotcha.
A little over 3 feet.
So he was to my fingertips was 36.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had to been pushing right about what I said, 40 inches or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Don't know why we gotta adjust that timer. Apparently that's off. So might have to fix a timer on you guys real quick. That's what happens when you move stuff around. He's a pretty cool dude though. I really like him. He's not ever going anywhere. As much as I've contemplated it, because that's a huge amount of wall space where his cage is alone. I could put another 4 berms or whatever, but I just don't think like that, Like, you got to stay focused to a point, which is why I made the cut on the few that I did, But Luda, he's my boy. Then we also have a lot more that you guys don't see. I also have a big 60-pound sulcata tortoise named Rampage. He lives outside. He's got his whole setup over there, so, that's That's him. That's my dude.
Yeah.
Cool ass tortoise. Sulcatas aren't the funnest tortoise to keep, so I don't really recommend them. But I do love him. As much as that's a catch 22 there. That's true, Chris. Always got to learn. Yeah, man, of course. Always down to show off stuff. Honestly, that's kind of what this is about, you know. I've said it in previous streams, but I don't really have people in my reptile room. You know, if somebody's inquiring about something for sale, or even if they just want to see something, you know, and I can help them out and maybe have a picture of one of my animals, then, or if they're inquiring about something, I'll take pictures or videos for people. But I don't bring people in this room. There's too much risk for me, and it's not just the whole corona thing. For me, it's more about, you know, that's obviously important, but you know, whatever. I guess not getting into that. Okay, um, more so for me, it's mite issues. If they have a snake with mites, if they have a snake with respiratory issues, if they have a sick snake in any sense, if they're, you know, they can carry anything on them into this room. I'm very picky when we come into this room. Wipe your feet, wash your hands, wear clean clothes. I mean, it's just one of those things with me. So I don't allow other people in the room. We also had a previous break-in attempt at our previous residence. Thank God for my dog, but you know, either way, I just don't have people here. So that's what the stream is about, though, is my point, you know, is I want to be able to share all this with you guys. I don't like not being able to have people here. I love sharing my reptiles. I love sharing the knowledge that I've acquired over the years and learning new things, because I am by no means perfect or a professional. I'm just some guy who loves reptiles, happens to know a lot about certain species, and still have a lot to learn. So, you know, I'd like to think a lot of us are in the same boat. How do I like my rhino iguana? Pros and cons. Let me fix this light so you guys can actually see me and I'm not a dark shadow. And also, the light that's above me is also the insectivore rack over here, which is off, which is not good. Way too early. Let me fix this real quick and I'll definitely answer that question. I might be able to pull the rhino iguana out.
Yeah, I thought that timer was set for like 11 to turn off.
That was that. Yeah, that's why I'm like, what the hell happened? Oh, I see what happened here. Okay. It got pushed up against it, and so it put in a few of the... Something got pushed up against it when we were moving stuff around, so it pushed in a few of the prongs there. There we go. Now you guys can see me again. Sorry about that. Like I said, we literally finished just in time for me to run out, smoke a quick bowl and a cigarette, and take a leak after finishing moving around all this room so I could go live for you guys. I think I was even 2 minutes late. No one goes in my snake shed. Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. So, gotta take them. Gotta take care of them and, you know, watch out for them, especially with the mites and stuff. That, and I don't want to put my family at risk. If people are coming here with ill intentions because of all the shit that I busted my ass for, fuck it. I mean, in this case, literally one guy ruined it for everybody. Shane has been a good friend of mine outside of reptiles for years. We've worked in the same industry. He's been on my crew for years now, and we've been friends ever since he moved to the state pretty much. So
yeah,
Shane is about the only person besides a few select other family members that ever come in this room. Just leave one. So let me see if I can pull this rhino iguana out real quick so you guys can see Yoshi. He doesn't really ever get to be shown off. This is actually, by all technicality, this is the girlfriend's pet that she's really wanted for a long time. She saw rhino iguanas, fell in love with them. You know, and I thought they were really cool animals too, don't get me wrong at all. But this was like mainly an Amanda thing. And I just happened to fall in love with the dude. I mean, I already thought rhino iguanas and cyclora were really cool species, but definitely didn't think I'd like him as much as I do. Nothing like a green iguana, I'll say that. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy.
okay.
Hey, bud. So this is Yoshi, the rhino iguana. Pros is, I mean, really the care is pretty easy. Besides their diet, which can be a bit finicky, although I gotta say, Amanda does take care of him for the most part, so it's pretty easy for me to just enjoy him. But honestly, I guess the diet could be a pro or a con depending on how you look at it. Um, it really just depends. But the diet, I guess for me, though, is a pro. I like vegetable eaters. For me, I already have the tortoise anyway, so there's already an abundance of vegetables and stuff, which is a very similar vegetables that they can eat and share. Also, just I guess I'd say the one con would be they do poop a lot, and the other con would be that they sneeze the excess calcium in their system. So one thing that a lot of the Cyclora species, he's going to claw me up, have in common is that they expel excess calcium in their system by sneezing it out. So all over the walls and all over the glass, there's white dots everywhere from the excess calcium buildup that they're sneezing out. I'd say that's a con just because it's kind of a pain, and they do poop a lot because they are vegetables eaters and they are eating daily. Um, so that could be a con, is a lot of cleanup, the excess calcium expelled from their body. And definitely he took a while to warm up to Amanda and I. He didn't just warm up right away. Amanda put a lot of work into him. I put a bit of work into him, but nowhere near what Amanda did. But it was a lot of work, is my point, in us getting him to this point where he's totally chill. I can just hang out and pet him, and he's not trying to bite me or go crazy.
He's actually like closing his eyes.
Yeah, you'll see he close his eyes and just kind of hang out. Beautiful blue phase rhino iguana. I mean, they're gorgeous animals, honestly. They're really cool. You can see his horns are coming in there. See if we can get it against the black background. See, he's got the eye to the camera open, but his eye on my side is completely closed. So that's something they'll do too, so they can keep a lookout. Pros, though. Pros, I would say, they're really amazing once you bond with them. They'll hang out with you, chill. For a lizard that will get a significant good size, be for the most part vegetarian, and also they don't need the height necessarily that a green iguana needs. Green iguanas want to climb. They want to be high up in the trees. I'm going to set this guy back real quick so I can talk more straight with you guys. Thanks for hanging out, Yosh. Sorry to bug you, bud.
The one thing the camera doesn't pick up is how blue he actually is.
I know. I noticed that. I was going to ask, actually. He really is a very beautiful blue phase rhino iguana. I wasn't OSHA certified, but whatever. Stand on the chair. Thank you, Josh. He really is a gorgeous rhino iguana. But yeah, they're amazing. So back to the pros. Overall, so far, what have we got? We got cons as far as the excess calcium out of their system. They do use the restroom a lot, and depending on how you look at it, the diet can be a con because they do get used to a routine. You need to have a good substantial amount of vegetables and a variety in their diet, and you need to feed them daily around the same time every single day and provide supplements. So for some people that could be a con. For me, we already have to prepare food like that every day anyway, so it's just kind of adding to it just a little bit. You did cut me open pretty good there. And then, I guess cons with that said, now that, I got blood going down there, they do have sharp nails, so be prepared for that. You let them out, they're going to scratch stuff up, they're going to scratch you up.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, that's just lizards in general. Any sort of big lizard, for the most part, has pretty big claws. Pros, though, really calm once you calm them down and they get used to. They're really calm, really amazing to handle. The care is actually pretty straightforward as far as the heat and the UVB. Heat, UVB, provide adequate floor space, the proper diet, a good place to hide, a couple low hanging branches or stuff to climb on. For instance, his cage right now is only a 2 foot tall enclosure. Now, rhinos will climb bigger than that. Rhinos can max around 5 foot or so. But as far as versus a green iguanas want to go 12, 13, 14 feet up in the air. Rhino iguanas are mainly a ground dwelling iguana species. So they will climb up to low hanging branches. They will, climb stuff and move around. He does bask on a branch and stuff, but they're not trying to go up, up, up. Especially as they grow larger, they're more of a ground dwelling iguana species, which I find as a huge pro because, terrestrial cages for the most part are easier than somebody dedicating not only a huge terrestrial area, but also a huge vertical area for that animal. So I'd say that's a pro versus a green iguana, as they need less height. You could technically have two enclosures stacked in the height of one green iguana enclosure. So I think that's pretty cool. Plus, I just love their size. I love their horns. Everything about their look is awesome. What else as far as pros? I mean, can you think of anything? I think that's
You get to have a fucking rhino iguana.
well. I mean, that's a pro. They definitely are very common lizards.
Yeah.
But I just love them. I mean, pros definitely, the housing is easier than green iguanas, like I said. Their personalities are better, and their temperaments overall, from what I've read and talked to a bunch of other rhino keepers, is overall their just temperament and everything is much better than green iguanas, which, if you guys know, can have, kind of outbursts and be very territorial and such. And so they cannot be the coolest, funnest animals to keep. Um, Rhinos aren't really like that. Like I said, I find their diet a pro because it's really easy to keep them healthy and fed. You can find their food at a local grocery store and any old pet store or Amazon. Anything has the calcium supplements you may need. Cons are definitely the excess calcium. And pro is the size because I love big animals, big snakes, big lizards, big dogs, big cats, big, I guess, little hippos.
Little back on the hippos. For those of you just tuning in.
Sailfins are cool lizards, Chris. Yeah, I guess, sorry, I don't have much more for you. That'd be my pros and cons of having rhino iguanas. Two cons, two pros, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd say there's definitely more good than the bad. We're already all used to cleaning up a bunch of poop. If you're cleaning a bunch of reptiles anyway, that's not going to bug you. So really the only con compared to any other animal, of similar stature would be the excess calcium, I say. That's the biggest con, is that sneezing. And really it's just wipe your damn walls once a day, once every other day. You know what I mean? We don't really let it get past that. There'll be a day where he barely sneezes up too much excess calcium where it's like, okay, leave it until the next morning when we give him food and then it can get wiped off, That's really the only con I can think of.
Yeah, and that's more just
other
like
than that,
annoyance.
there's way more pros to having a rhino iguana versus a green iguana or a red iguana or etc. A lot of the other mainstream iguana species you see, rhinos are awesome. Yeah, they're really not too bad. They're going to be a big lizard. They're going to max around 5 foot or so. I think I saw, I think its name was King Kong or something. It was on a Camp Kennan video. He did have some, was visiting Thai parks, and he had some, I should say, really big rhino iguanas. One, I want to say, was Diddy Kong, and was huge. He had to be pushing 6 foot or something. Can you fact check me on that? YouTube, Camp Kennan. I want to say it was either Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong rhino iguana, or maybe somebody in the comments can chime in. That was a huge rhino iguana, is my point though. But so other than like space, Luda enclosure would actually be perfect for a rhino iguana. Obviously, you need to let them out, just like we do with all the other animals, and it's not a prison, as I actually heard earlier in a really good comment. But either way, it's just their cage. But their cage can be similar to, Luda's would be perfect. 8x4x4, even an 8x4x3 if you're letting the animal out all the time. Yeah, I believe actually that rhino, I got him from his the original owner, but I believe he was actually originally produced from Thai parks. So, to the best of my knowledge, that is a blue phase rhino from Thai, but it came from a local guy. He had it, he posted it up. It was, I mean, Josh, I think, saw the original ad. It was up for maybe 2 hours before I was talking to the guy. And
Yeah.
then we happened to have mutual friends and we worked out a deal. He actually got one of my highway females in a trade deal that we worked out between a mutual friend. So, yeah, wasn't a cheap lizard by any means, even in trade value standards, because a highway female is sweet to me.
So yeah, Keenan has a
Yeah,
video
the reptile park.
um, titled "Gigantic Rhino Iguana" of um, where is that name? It's on
Giant rhino iguana of.
the like
Should
actual.
it say Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong?
I think it said Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. See, it was one of those guys.
Yep, meet Donkey Kong.
Yep, Donkey Kong. All right, sweet. Fact check complete.
Yep.
Donkey Kong, Camp Kennan. It was actually a really good video, dude. You should check it out. And anybody else should really check that video out. It was a beautiful rhino iguana, and Thai Park's facility that he's building down there is absolutely stunning. I could only dream of having that much property to do the things he's doing down there. I mean, so many tortoise species, crocodiles, caimans, iguanas. I mean, Thai Park's facility is going to be amazing. Right, Gay? I always find it interesting. So, living in Australia, right? Everyone else in the world wants all the Australian species. But in Australia, you can only keep the Australian species, and you want everything else that the rest of the world is keeping. And I always found this just interesting because it's like people in Australia want everything that's not in Australia. Everybody else in the world wants everything that's in Australia, and we can't get outside of Australia.
Yeah.
All the blue tongue skink morphs, the scrub pythons that we can't get,
Scrub pythons.
Some of the monitors that are local down there, the Parenti especially, the most beautiful monitor in the world.
I personally want the Australian possum.
Oh my God, back to possums.
Actually,
we're doomed, you guys.
They just discovered 2 new species of possum in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, they look like Furbies. They're weird.
Look like. Okay.
Yeah. I'll
show me this after the live, okay? No, Gay. You're going to the dark side now. Berms all the way. I'm joking. Super dwarfs, I guess, can be pretty cool. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. No way that's a real thing.
Yeah.
The thing looks like you shouldn't feed it after midnight or it's going to fucking kill you. Legless lizards are cool. That's what I'm saying, Chris. This guy and his possums. Although that possum he just showed me a straight up, it looks like he's right. It looks like a Furby. You shouldn't feed that thing after midnight. Have you seen those, Gay? Can you feed them after midnight or do they eat you? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Gotta be a good size. I really think some of the localities of scrubs you guys have there are absolutely amazing. I want to say it was Brian Cusco's video when him, Dave Kaufman, and them were down there, and they had found that giant subspecies of scrub. I forgot the exact subspecies, so pardon me. This was months ago. But man, I saw that and I was like, holy crap. I've never seen a scrub, like, even a subspecies of a scrub that beautiful. Saved one stuck up a drain pipe. Yep, I love the scrubbies. And thought about getting one. So do the scrubs there really get to be true giants, like true giant 18-foot scrubs, because I see a lot of variability where people are saying, oh, scrubs only get this big. And I know a lot of it's locality based, but for instance, the Australian species, how big do they get? I've seen some videos of them eating birds on frickin' power lines down there. So I know they get a decent size, but I mean, what's the biggest that you guys used to see? And yeah, you're never too old to travel. There's lots of places around the world I want to go, including Australia. I really, really want to go down there, and I want to see the zoo. I want to see the berm that they have there. That's one of a kind in the entire world. Probably going to spend a week at the zoo just looking at everything. um, and then, I would love to go out to a few of the other local zoos and just out looking for animals. 16 foot at least. Okay, see, now that I need a scrub like that.
That'd be
a lot
cool.
of these guys are talking about like 10,
16?
12 foot scrubs, and I'm
Ooh.
like, at 10, 12 foot, man, my burns are bigger than that. Even my retic's gonna be bigger than that. I like big snakes. They are slim but long. Don't even start. Oh shit, killing me. Bredli is now 13 feet. That's a good sized Bredli. I looked into some of the, carpet species. There's a guy, Joshua Yostein, I believe, who breeds them locally. He actually had some pretty cool looking stuff. What is this dude doing over here?
Trying to turn around.
He's like, yeah. Like, do I want to go this way or this way? But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here shortly, guys. I still need to get that last hatchling rack plugged in. But definitely didn't want to miss the live, so I thought I'd just come on, BS with you guys, and still try to get some of the stuff done around here. She's built like a brick shithouse, too. I bet.
What does that mean?
That is not what they say. Built like a brick shithouse? Gotta ask Gay. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, though.
Like a brick outhouse?
Yeah, basically. Sturdy.
Just
big.
sturdy. It's got good bone.
Right? Yeah, let me know. So, like I said, I'm probably going to wrap it up unless you guys have any other questions. I just wanted to make sure we never miss a live. If you guys aren't, though, please go down below, smash that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and you guys can see more awesome reptile-related content as well. Smash that like button. I mean, just helps the algorithm. The more you smash that like button, the more people chime in, the more people we can bullshit with and talk to. And on top of that, it promotes the channel more. So it's a win-win. You too, Gay. Hey, Chris, sorry. We are, sorry I'm saying hi, bye. But if you have any questions, shoot them out there now. I do need to get going to finish up the room. We've completely redone the room a bit today. There's a lot more to go, but that'll be over the next few months. Also, you guys, if you don't mind, check us out on Instagram. That is where I am most frequent, and you will find the most up-to-date pictures. And on top of that, we're almost at 1,000 followers, and I'm not one for like huge follower counts, but that would be a huge milestone and really cool to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. I'm only like 30 followers away, so if you guys go over on Instagram and check us out, that'd be pretty cool. And you can see some cool pictures of all the different stuff we keep. All right, you guys, I'm out of here with that said. I appreciate all of you for chiming in. I will see you guys next week. And until then, stay safe and Peace.